Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne. Oh, damn it. Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Utze. It's the Hungarian Carcassonne Online Championship 2025. We are in the quarterfinals, and yesterday, I hope at least some of you witnessed Mozart's 2-0 versus Silex Saxum. And today, all three other quarterfinals will take place, starting off with fcsaba versus cszs, which is, I think, Gold Chengeri. And later it's Siegfried versus Wietzeczke and David 44 versus Kisemo. So let's focus on the first pairing. As I said, fcsaba versus cszs. And fcsaba is, well, meandering between 350 and a bit over 500 in the ELO rating, and I think it sounds about right. Incidentally, I played against him on Saturday in our ETCOC group match, and I'd say that's spot on. Yeah, definitely not a 600 rated player, and I wouldn't peg him on reaching the 600 anytime soon. His opponent, on the other hand, definitely has reached the 600s, I thought, at least. Let's check. Yeah, so there are multiple peaks, at least slightly over 600. So I'd favor Jolt today, but we'll see how this turns out. And now let's check if they have already started, and they did so a minute ago, so we missed a few pieces. Let's see. So starting with the city here, and then both getting straights, and that's exactly what you shouldn't do. Why do you add the straight here? Just take it. There are loads of options, many road ends available, so there's no reason at all to just dump the straight there. One thing I forgot, looks like, is the scoreboard. Here we go. And now it works. So let me quickly check if the chat is working. It is. Just need to set up my sound, so I should be notified if any of you likes to send me something and point me to a specific move, or I don't know what. So let's get rid of that test message again. And focus on the game. So first obstruction over here, although there are still 3 starting tiles left. Not really a big problem. Downside though is you really can't use triple city pieces over here, which you might like to. Although not in a case where you need a starting tile there. So the most likely outcome is blue would add a Dorito here and then hope to draw the starting tile later, and if needs must, add a second Dorito and just hope that yellow can't block this square. Blue's definitely not frightened. Using the monastery over here could lead to complications, but in most cases it works out fine, and they are just able to build an efficient road and maybe even stack another monastery there. For now, they prevent yellow from connecting to their road, also create this one here, which they would take with a starting tile. Well, at least I'm pretty sure they would do this. So now that yellow created this blocking platform up top, blue, of course, doesn't use the second monastery on the left side. Else, they might end up with 3 blocked or killed meeples, and that's, well, not ideal, especially not in the first third of the game. So cszaba with a straight. No ideal places available, but I'd rather try to kill this square for good, and a straight is definitely an okay piece to try. Then save this one just to be able to attack this road, which isn't even finished on the other end. Yeah. Blue gets the crossroad, kills yellow's connection try, and just hopes to draw another crossroad later. And yellow is just stuck with 2 2-point roads versus blue's 5-point road. Just use the monastery here. It's safe. It obstructs blue's city. Someone quite likely will use the crossroad there, although in this case you have to. Whereas this, oh well, yeah, sorry, neglected that this would have been their last meeple, so definitely not easy to pull the trigger on this one, especially if you have your meeples stuck in several places and none of them really ideal or easy to liberate, except for this road meeple. But adding this here, which in many cases would lead to a block, which would need this exact dagger they got, definitely is pretty risky, maybe even reckless. Meanwhile, blue scores and scores and scores and is at 34 points on the virtual scoreboard. Yellow's game will depend on this city at the bottom. If they are able to take this without any more interference from blue, then they would get the 2 precious meeples back and also quite a lot of points, which would allow them to be still in this here. But if blue somehow ties this one, or if it isn't closed within the next, let's say, 10, 15 moves, 20 moves maybe, going for yellow will get tougher and tougher. Yeah, in this case, also more or less a wasted monastery. Over here was a prime spot. No, sorry. These are 3, 4. So this here would have killed blue, and therefore you wouldn't meeple the monastery, but the road end. And you would have killed blue's meeple. So as it stands, there's still the option for blue to draw a curve like this, and later on the remaining road monastery, but that's the only option for blue to liberate this meeple. Meanwhile, blue adds junk to yellow's city, and this then leads to a situation where yellow might even hope to draw the remaining diagonal splitter just to get this meeple back. Although points-wise, it would be better to unite these parts to deny blue these 7 points from the southern city part. Yeah, Joel takes another city. Doesn't care, of course, about the 1 point to yellow's monastery. At plus 18 with both 2 meeples in hand. Now plus 10. That's really no biggie. Yellow created another pretty useful blocking platform against a city and monastery of blue, and if they would be successful in executing it, sorry, there's still a bug here. If you have seen my earlier stream, it annoyed the crap out of me back then. So if yellow would be successful in killing this square, they should have the long-term meeple majority in this game and be able to pull off closing this gap and winning the game. But they just don't get pieces to do so, and this cap I'd rather see over here to give them the chance to draw one of the many remaining city caps there and get this meeple back. Also, maybe even add farmer, because if this were closed, there would be already these 2 cities, and if united to the top or to the right or top right, this field would expand to 4 cities even. So leaving this as it is quite likely will result in blue using a curve sometime to restrict this square and also create an attacking platform against the city on the left, which could either be used to block or maybe with any field plus a city tile to attack it, because there are still 2 horses out there and you'd rather not see your opponent snatch a useful, 13 points city from your hand. So yeah, might have worked nicely depending on blue's use of the curve. Now they hit the jackpot. Blue got a city piece but couldn't do, and therefore couldn't do anything about this. Well, the cow is a tad annoying, but in this case, just adding it here, pushing this square to the one remaining left-handed dagger should work fine for yellow and almost accomplish this kill here. At least it would give them a chance to do so, and jackpot. Blue couldn't have done anything about it, and jackpot again, you would have killed this square. Instead, adding this one over here, yeah, it protects against this linear attack by, I don't know, something like that, and then a connection with an extender, but that's really not that frightening, because if blue were to execute this, well, then they'd create another platform to attack this one again. So not the ideal route to do so with all 4 cows gone. So yellow protects their city. Still 3 vanillas out there. And blue liberates the almost killed monastery. Gets a second meeple back after this interesting city meeple deployment here. And Java now should liberate the monastery, I'd say. And I would even add a farmer there. Of course, the best piece to liberate the monastery would be the road monastery to kill this square, and with this lose monk. And also would be nicer to take this field, but I would risk this. In the end, this is, yeah, third to last, second to last, what is it? Curve out there, so why not? And even if blue were to get the road monastery, they'd be forced to get a crossroad to liberate both these meeples and yours then. And also would create a bigger field, which should have been yours actually. Yeah, more points to blue, more wasted pieces by yellow. Doesn't look that great. Maybe like this. Hoping to draw one of the remaining straights, or the remaining straight, and maybe a starting tile which you'd like to draw anyway, because it would help blue for sure. 5-point road now, even if you donate these 2 points to yellow. Why not? Else, maybe this is better. 3 points straight up without giving blue the chance to extend the ruin. Yeah, don't ask me why they take the 2 points if there are 3 available. The risk of blue drawing the remaining dagger and then running away with the city was rather minuscule. So here comes the splitter for blue, a city attack, and if the run out of pieces, or not the run out, the pieces still in the deck, it's very likely they'd connect, but yellow could, of course, try to block this. So it needs the remaining horse. That would at least be a 50-50. But the risk of using anything without a city piece over here is a total takeover by blue. So if you want to block this, then you'd have to risk your piece as well, maybe. Or use something like that. Maybe, but isn't great. And at -14, Well, you have the chance to kill this with your curve, but prefer to close your loop road. Well, I don't know what to say, man. Come on. Let me translate for you. Just a moment, please. Joel's writing a novel. This translates to you can't complain about luck. Yeah, well, come on, cszaba. That's not luck. You let him close the monastery, you let him close the city. You didn't do enough about it, although you could have. So that's not luck. Sorry, folks, but I'm pretty annoyed by people complaining about luck when they just don't see their mistakes. If you play perfect, then you may complain about luck. But I've never witnessed a perfect game by anyone, so here you go. Yeah, in the end, this here plus the farmer leads to blue being ahead by roughly 30 points, and now even 35 because they got this road. And yellow, well, what could they do? Well, meeple the farm over here. Hope to finally get the crossroad, and then later maybe the road monastery. How about your vanillas as well? Or one would be enough. So risk it. Come on. Show us a farmer. Instead, they create this diamond shape, which, well, actually, blue could have killed immediately with any of the pieces in the deck. So it's just a wasted piece. But blue prefers to take this 6-point field on the left side. Well, it's their prerogative. Why not? The game is over anyway, so who cares? Yeah, if you play this move here, which in itself looks nice, but then you have to meeple it. Else, the lucky blue one draws the perfect piece from the deck, and deservedly so. Just rub it in. I can only guess what this might mean. You help a lot, yeah. That's spot on. So, Jolt with an easy win here, thanks to an abundance of support by cszaba, losing a game with 40 points, which was quite likely very winnable if you just kill these two, which you could have done instead of just dumping this nonsense cow at the bottom. Man, that's frustrating. So what does Jolt do? Lock this one here. Take this one. I don't know. Just dump it somewhere and put a drunken farmer on it, or what else? Maybe the most precise move would be this one here, just in case yellow would get a crossroad to connect to the main field, you'd still have the option of drawing the curve, taking 4 points and connecting your field to the main field to tie it. In the end, they just need to take care that they don't run out of time, although I'm not really sure if this is even enforced. Yeah, this works as well, of course. It's not a guaranteed connection, but yellow would need to get the Dorito before blue gets anything to connect to prevent it. And even if yellow would have gotten the Dorito, there would have been still this vanilla out there. By the way, I don't criticize this move, of course. This was the other connection opportunity, and it scores the same as it would do over here. And with 2 meeples in hand, there's no need to liberate this one. Yeah, even that one. There are 3 points up top. Oh, yeah, there's this connection as well. Well, that I definitely missed. Talking about this here. Utter and complete nonsense. So this would have worked as well. What's it in the end? 60 points, really? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So let's check what these two are writing. I think the translation is a bit off. So Chaba says, wasn't this the party of my life? Yeah. And this here, it wasn't the worst match for me. But the fight is far from over yet. Yeah, that's exactly right. There's still a game to go, and Joel still has to play another good game and win it. Yeah, Chaba tries irony. I don't know. Play better, complain less, and then you should be good. So let's check. Revenge not started. Oh, here we go. Now it started. And this time we'll catch the opening move, and yep, you can do this, but usually you'd rather point the curve upwards to have more options against this road. Yeah, this city, of course, not this road. With the road against the city, and in cases where your opponent would get a starting tile or a rose, at least you'd be able to create an easy loop road. This also creates a snaky road, which needs 2 road ends. This one would allow for a rather easy to accomplish loop road which doesn't need specific tiles as in road ends, but just one straightish piece. And curves, well, or curvies should be the most common pieces in the game, actually. Well, maybe apart from city caps, although I am not really sure, actually. Let's count. So we have these 4 crossroads, we have 9 curves, 6 daggers, 5 Doritos. That adds up to 28. Am I right? So more curves than caps, definitely. This here is just road building and waiting to be blocked or maybe killed somehow. Also adding this one, yeah, looks nice, but usually doesn't win because it complicates your city way too much. Meanwhile, blue just tries to take the easy points and quite likely, or no, not quite likely, absolutely will prevent yellow from running away with the city because yellow just can't draw 2 diagonal splitters, considering one is already gone. So then we might see a second city attack from this platform here sometime soon. And Java even deliberately placed the quadruple city up top when they already have a rather unwieldy city at the bottom. And will anyone take my bet that neither this one nor this one in the end will be closed by yellow, at least not alone? It's annoying, yeah, sure, but in this case, maybe just dump it here. Just live with this. After blue's horse move, it's bound to be a tight city anyway, so just donate the 2 points. Try to get away with the diamond. Well, unless it works, of course, then you're golden and your move was great. But just the once, and trust me, it doesn't happen very often. Yeah, overall, Chaba is ahead by 4 points. But ends the road on the left side, while it's still rather tricky to complete on the right side. But getting the monastery, of course, is really sweet. Maybe even a bit lucky. So let's see if blue will limit this to the road monastery. They do, but in an inferior way, because now yellow should use it like that and then hope to draw one of the 4 remaining regular monasteries. Feels a bit like being in New York at the UN headquarters. I think you'll get the previous one back. What's Moglashuk? Maybe? Let's go? Okay, let's go. Interesting. Yeah. Blue preferred to close their city on the left, which wasn't threatened at all, instead of preventing the worst case, which would be yellow running away with the city up top. So, yeah, well, if your opponent helps you, then creating unwieldy cities is always a great idea. And here we go. The city closes, and yellow will add a farmer, because if they don't, or if they do even, blue will add a farmer somewhere to this 9-point field. Come on, folks. Let me talk. Play the game, please. So, tough luck for blue. gets a cow, and that's actually the only piece which they can't use to take the field. And yellow didn't even. Oh, I missed the spot. They can take the field. Great. Yellow didn't even drop a farmer. I don't know why. Ask Chab. What the fuck? Where's the blue farmer? 6 meeples in hand. And you don't farm? Might have been a misclick. Oh, well. Who did qualify for the quarterfinal, for the semifinals already? Let me quickly check. It was Musopal. Yeah. Oh, that's the other branch. Okay, then I don't congratulate Musopal to reaching the finals. So the winner of this match will play David 44 versus Kisemo. And from what I've seen so far, I would expect Kisemo to reach the semis and then also reach the finals against whomever. So blue added the farmer on their next try. In between, yellow closed their city instead of taking the main field with an abundance of caps, and also all extenders still out there. Oh, well. You will see another monastery over here. Yeah, that's definitely better. Totally missed that this wasn't completed. Didn't blue say they completed yellow's monasteries? Yeah, well, they didn't, because of this square. So now Chaba is at +22. And are there still threats for blue? Well, there's still this city at the bottom. No splitter left, at least no diagonal splitter to attack like this, which would be pretty sweet. So this doesn't work. Maybe an attack over here will become necessary. For now, they try to score city points, and at -24, soon -28, maybe. Maybe Java prefers to add 2 points on the right side and prepare to liberate the monastery, for example, with the starting tile or the Rito. because that's the last dagger, and if they don't use it now, this square might get killed, maybe even on the next move. Chances aren't bad. 6 pieces out there would kill it immediately. Yeah, this works as well and might even be a good idea for once, because there are still 4 straights out there, and then you'd add this city to your field. Jolt jumps on the chance to take this cap up top, and this quite likely will create a separate 9-point field, which arguably is bad for them, having this 12-point field in the middle with, for all intents and purposes, 2 farmers on it, although the one isn't connected, so it's 9 points for blue and 3 points for blue. So 2 fields. Whoa. I would have liked something like this, but blue wasn't lucky enough to get any piece to obstruct this square. So they closed both cities. Now there is the 9-point field, and it might be blue will take this one. Yeah, yellow maybe could have even taken the field at the top. The 3 straights out there. I definitely know a few folks who would have hopped on here and would have just waited for the next straight, because only 2 meeples of yellow on the board plus these 2. And even if they had dropped a farmer, they would have still had 2 meeples in hand. This is interesting. It opens up a connection route here in both directions, of course. And I think that's in blue's interest. It's definitely in blue's interest at minus 38. They should hope to connect here and here. This would mean an 18-point swing, because these 9 points would be deducted from yellow's score and added to blue's. But even that would not be enough. But still, why not try? So this kills it. Sure, if you connect here or on the right side, you get 9 points, but at minus 38, how would my American friends say it? You have to swing for the fences. There's no small points gathering here or there. You have to go for the big features. You have to be bold. You have to use Hail Marys. So if you don't want to use the curve here to connect there, something like this, and then hoping to draw the monastery would have worked fine as well, but downside would have been that there's still a curve out there to use it exactly like Lou did to kill this square. So now that's just that rubber here. Blue just invested their last meeple. By the way, they attacked yellow's 9-point field on the right side, while yellow just added another farmer for 6 points there. And now yellow tries to unite all the fields on top and just prevents blue from getting a meeple back quickly. And that's all she wrote. Oh, well. Yeah, back to the game. This square should stay empty because there are exactly one starting tile, one straight, and one crossroad still in the deck. So any limitation is just a limitation to a 50-50, but you don't have to do this yourself. Let your opponent waste the move if they want to limit your connection options, else just leave it be. Having 3 pieces out of, I don't know, 9 is a pretty good chance of connecting there. And this here is just nonsense. The good news, though, is, folks, later it's very likely. No, it's not very likely. It's a given that we won't see moves like this here and all the crap we had to witness in these 2 games so far. Because Siegfried and Wietzeczke are definitely 2 of the top Hungarians. And I hope this will be some sort of redemption for this match here. But we still get a 3rd game, so maybe one of these 2 will actually play a good game. We'll see. So he hopes BGA, likely the random number generator or the deck shuffling algorithm, will be fairer in the final match than in the first 2. I don't know, man. So Chaba says, I hope the commentator says that in the first game pure luck prevailed, while in the second intelligence prevailed. No. Definitely not, folks. Definitely not. It's not even if I sound like a broken record, it's not about luck. At least not if you play like these 2 have played so far. I don't know. Maybe continue. Persze, sure, or please. Let's see. Of course, yeah. And this is, can we go to the final? Yeah. 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 Here we go. Let's see if Jolt knows his stuff in terms of an opening curve. Nope. Yeah. I mean, it's not the worst move in the world. Don't get me wrong, but just I have to look at top dash carcassonne.com. Did I say dash? Is it dash? I don't know. Well, at topcarcassonne.com, and there you should get all you need about opening moves like that. And then, of course, there would be the long promised opening move series by Alexi, but I've lost the hope that he'd do that. But maybe someone could nudge him and he would invest the many hours this would take. And before you ask, I'm not qualified to do so. I'm not on Alexi's level. So yellow gets nice cities and a nice field. Meanwhile, blue dumps this monastery over here. Begging, really begging yellow to block this square and try to win this game, well, immediately with a kill here. I'd say there's a huge field brewing. Blocking these 3 meeple would be more or less, what's the term? Let me check. Guess I won't miss any moves of significance. A preliminary decision sounds weird to me, actually. Oh. Oh, well. Friendly banter would be, I guess, would be an apt summarization. Yes, that's. I hope that's the word. Yeah, so this curve by blue was spot on. Just moving out of there, giving his monastery a chance to be completed. And this here looks annoying, but is fairly safe, especially in a game where both diagonal splitters are already gone. So let's see if they get the necessary pieces to, oh man, it's like roller coaster right here. Pieces to complete this one. There are, of course, other ways, but priority should be preventing yellow from running away with their city on the right side, although maybe not with this juicy big city tile with a shield. Yeah. I mean, if one of the parties draws all the city caps, it's a pretty easy game. Blue got this 4-point road on the right side. That means blue has gotten exactly one of these 6 cities. And that's quite a lopsided distribution. But we'll see. More friendly banter, or at least I would say it's friendly. This here to me is the wrong side, because this way you could easily close your road, for example, with the crossroad. And now you can't play anything over here before adding something there. Ooh, yellow tries to attack blue city. Respect. And if they'd be successful, well then the game for blue might be shot. Will we see another monastery by yellow over here? Or will they chicken out? No, they take the monastery. Good job. Yeah, I'd rather not add this here. Exactly. Rather try to do something about yellow city on the right side, but now this here is problematic, but it's still possible. But arguably, this is the wrong Dorito. What? No. Not at -21 and yellow in possession of this field and easy to liberate monasteries. That's not the move. That's not the move. Either this one and hoping to get a Dorito and then later the horse, or likely better this one here, although no, that's not better actually, because any road from the left side would limit this city then, or would result in you needing the remaining road Dorito and the horse, so even worse chances. Just unlucky to draw this Dorito and not a field Dorito, which would have worked perfectly like this. So 3 cows remaining, 4 Doritos remaining. That would have been sweet. But this year, well, you get the points from this ruin. You might close your city, but you won't win the game with a move like that. So yellow closed this one. And it looks like Chaba will rather easily advance to the semifinals in the end. So let's find ways how blue could still win this game, because it's minus 25. Another 2 points with a straight, maybe. They could liberate this one. There are still a lot of caps out there to close the city. They could add a farmer there, then take this city, connect one farmer to the main field, maybe connect another one on the right side. Yeah, this is fine. Actually, still all pieces out there to close this road. So definitely no need to restrict this to something specific or to defend over here when you can take 5 points. And this also this year might be 4 points in the end if you manage to close this city. And as I said, there are quite a lot of caps still out there, so why not go for it? Yeah, yellow takes 2 points, but protects the road as well. So why not take the 2 points here while also adding this city cap to your field where you could take it, for example, with the starting tile or the left-handed dagger, which you couldn't use to close this cap here. Yeah, exactly. There you go. There you have it. And that's the right punishment for doing moves like this. Yeah, maybe I would have even dropped a farmer there if I were yellow, just to be sure not to lose the main field in the end. Now they limit blue city to the last remaining starting tile. So blue just takes the 4 points. Not sure at this point I would have done this, as there's still this city here out there to be completed. And now there are only 5 caps there and 3 Doritos, so might be problematic to close this one. And I'd rather keep my options of adding a farmer there to at least try the Hail Marys against yellow's as of now 21 point field. And then 24, maybe 27. Good move, perfect move by yellow, locking this square to the same starting tile that's needed on the left already. Now this, and if yellow plays this move, the game is done. If it weren't already, that is, but because this here was the last remaining left-handed dagger, and this would be needed over here. But looks like they'd still like blue to get another chance. Yeah. Tough. So these squares are dead. And they could kill this city as well, just like this. It's the wrong side. Now there's still this option available. And if you'd have played the starting tile here, well then blue would have needed to play it this way, and there's no dagger left. Blue doesn't care, and yellow gets the Dorito anyway, so this here is toast. But blue still has a chance. No, I'm sorry. This was the last starting tile, of course. So there's no chance. Else blue could have gone with the farmer here, closed their city, added a farmer there, then used the starting tile, maybe a vanilla or a road piece on the left side to tie the field. Sorry. Wrong shortcut. Although blue could have actually used the same option just without this one here. Like this. But not after this move. Or rather, after this one. Yeah, well. So I guess I'll take a break after this match, unless one of you would like to analyze something. I mean, I've got the time, so would be no problem at all, but maybe you'd have to type something in the chat. Finally, yellow gets a curve to liberate the monastery. Took them only eons. Oh. Did I miss something? Doesn't look like it. So some dead rubber moves over here, up top, over there. And Jolt even gets a monastery, but only gets the 1 point. He wishes good luck to Java in the semifinals. So let's just wait what Java has to say. And then, as quite likely, no one will post a link to a game or suggest at least one to take a look at. I'll just take a break and then so Java thinks all 3 games were decided by luck. Yeah, well, if you think so. Looks like cszs concurs. But of course, there's always the possibility that something might get lost in translation. Yeah, gracious to say that the better player advanced. So I guess that's it for now. Let me quickly check, and dead silent chat. So well then, folks, I'll close this down here right now, not without taking another look at the bracket over here. So Java advances will meet the winner of David 44 and Kisemo. These two will play in or start in 80 minutes. And if the match of Siegfried and Wietzeczke would be over in quick fashion, I would cover at least the end of David's and Kisemo's match. But I doubt that this one would or will become a quick affair, but we'll see later. So thanks for tuning in. See you later or on another day. Bye bye.